State Secretary Budliger, your visit to India comes at a very crucial time. The trade and economic partnership agreement between EFTA countries and India uh, has come into effect today, and it's a historic moment for both the sides. So, how do you see the coming into effect of the trade and economic partnership agreement between India and EFTA countries?
Well, we're very excited that this day has finally come. As you know, the negotiation process took a bit of time. We negotiated for 16 years. And when we finally signed, we still had to go through a ratification process. And for me today, thinking that there might be the first, container coming from Switzerland or an air shipment from India to Switzerland, and it's entering under this new tariff preferential regime is, of course, incredibly exciting and satisfying.
So how it will impact the India-Switzerland bilateral trade? I mean, this is on an upswing for last few years. Over 300 Swiss companies are in India operating, and we have a very robust economic and trade relations. So how this TEPA agreement will further bolster India-Switzerland bilateral trade?
So it was absolutely key for us to make it a balanced agreement. And as you can imagine, if you just look at goods and services, you have India on one side with 1.4 billion young population, and then you have the EFTA member states. Together we're roughly 15 million. You understand it's very difficult to balance a trade agreement, and that's why the EFTA countries have decided, and this is really completely innovative and new, to do an investment pledge to create jobs in India. And I think this is really what made this deal meaningful and made it balanced. And we can see already the fact that we signed and that we are now here, that it has gone in Switzerland and in all the EFTA member states. It was a very smooth ratification process. We had massive support in our parliaments. And we can already see that India is now completely on the map. And we have seen this with past free trade agreements. Once you have this free trade agreement, it's like a booster. You have to understand the engine, yes, has been going well. The car has been idly driving forward, but now we're hitting the booster, and we see massive interest coming from Switzerland.
This transformative agreement is coming into force when the world is witnessing trade disruptions, mainly arising out of US President Donald Trump's policies on trade and tariff. So how do you see this deal in the context of the current geopolitical and trade disruption that we are witnessing globally, including in Europe?
I think it's safe to say that it's even more meaningful. But, for us, we started this a long time ago. So we always wanted to have a free trade agreement with India. It is really not fueled by what is now currently the conversation we're also having with the US. So this has been our way of doing business for a long time. But looking at the world where protectionism is on the rise, not only in the US, having now a preferential market access for our companies, I think is a key thing. Also, as I said, wanting to contribute to the well-being of India by creating these jobs, by creating value. And you have to understand, Swiss FDI is what I call smart FDI, because these are really jobs for Indians up to the highest ranks in the companies, because we lack actually staff. We lack land in Switzerland. So if somebody would task me to create the next biggest industrial complex in Switzerland, that would be very difficult. So I think this is really an excellent moment, and it will give additional emphasis to what we're trying to do. But I think it's wrong to think that this was a response of because of what's going on in the world. This was actually always our master plan.
So definitely it's incidental, but in fact, I mean, our relations with the US is on a free fall, actually. I mean, there has been severe downturn in India-US relations because of 50% tariff on Indian goods that has been slapped by the Trump administration. And do you think it could not have been a better time for India and EFTA countries to seize the moment, and then now it is going to be more impactful than it was envisaged before.
I completely agree. Now I have to say I'm sad to see that this relationship is not is at where it is. But I've seen also that President Trump himself has tried to reach out to your prime minister. I have to tell you, Switzerland is a neutral country, and Switzerland actually is doing as it best when the world is doing well. And I think it will be absolutely key for the world that countries with such massive economic power, like the US, like India, for us, the best place is when everybody gets along, and when we get along with everybody. So I'm really hoping that this relationship will be improving again, because you are both great trading and investment partners of Switzerland. And we're sad to see when things are not going well. Now, Switzerland, as you might be aware, has also been hit with 39% tariff. That's among the highest, not as high as India. But again, there, we remain calm, we remain level-headed. And it is our declared ambition to get a better deal with the US. Switzerland is a neutral country. We depend on having great relationship with everyone that follows international law. And that's why we're really hoping that we're getting into calmer waters again. I'm not sure if it's happening, but whatever we can do as Switzerland, we will want to achieve good relationships with both. And as I said, it would also be good if hopefully things can improve again between India and US.
When the TEPA was finalized, our Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal, he had said that in fact it will fetch USD 100 billions investment and overall trade volume. So is it a realistic figure?
It is a realistic figure. As you can imagine, it's not my money or the Swiss Confederation's money. It's the private sector that needs to come into play. And of course, before I sign, before my government signs a document, or, I sort of entertain such an idea as being in charge of the negotiations. Of course, we had more than one sincere conversation with our private sector, and they're very serious about it. And this is this year the second economic delegation I'm spearheading from Switzerland. My EFTA colleagues are also here. I can tell you there is massive interest. I have again a carefully hand-selected group of investors here with me. 40 companies are here. They have massive investment plans. I'm very optimistic that within the 15 years we'll reach that 100 billion investment target. What is key, and this is why it's great to work with Minister Goyal, of course, the framework conditions need to be in place. And as you know, also Europe, everybody's struggling with red tape. We have managed to maneuver ourselves in a rather complex world with complex societal needs. And it'll be absolutely key that Invest India, who is our main go-to partner, is able to create a smooth investment process. And then I think equally important, sometimes our companies hit sort of after-sales issues. They're established, but then maybe they want to expand and they need an additional piece of land and the permits and so on and so on. It's the same in Switzerland. I'm not saying we have it all done perfectly well, but I think this will be key, that the framework conditions are there. And Minister Goyal came to Switzerland. He attended the Swiss Industries Day, which is organized by our MEM industries, and people were enthusiastic on how hands-on he actually tackles some of these issues. So we feel that we're in very good hands.
Apart from the trade aspect of the TEPA, so what is the kind of messaging that it serves when we are witnessing global flux, actually turmoil everywhere, etc., in various geographies, Russia, Ukraine, in West Asia, etc. So what is the geopolitical significance of TEPA?
So it's two democracies. So EFTA is a group of, I think, highly democratic countries. My country practices the art of direct democracy, which is a rare thing nowadays. You are the biggest democracy. I think it's a win for democracy. As I said, you have a young population. If I look around, our biggest market are Europe, US, even China. These are all aging societies. So I think this is actually us betting on the future of India. I think geopolitically speaking, we're seeing now a multipolar polar world. For us, it's important that, as I said, we get along with everyone except those that violate international law gravely. So I would say check, 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 win, 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 all the way. And as you pointed it out, it couldn't come at a better moment. But I don't want to be perceived as this opportunistic country that now, because the world is in turmoil, all of a sudden we discover our love and admiration for India. That's why I underlined that we've wanted this for more than 16 years. We negotiated 16 years. So yes, we can act on opportunism, but for us it is much profounder. Also, Switzerland recognized Indian independence. We have a friendship treaty, which is now more than 75 years old. So we've had a long-standing tradition. I meet companies that have been in the Indian market for more than 100 years. So even, before the existence of today's India. So for us, we feel incredibly proud to be your friend and your partner.
So basically, Indian economy has been witnessing very robust growth consistently in the last few years. The International Monetary Fund has described India as the bright spot globally for economic growth. So how do you see India's economy, and do you also would prefer any kind of policy changes or changes in framework for various companies to invest in India in a better way without any complications? Because there have been reports that at times it is very difficult to set up manufacturing hubs in India, and regulatory issues always create a lot of hurdles. So would you also like to just see some reforms in India for investors to invest in a better way?
So first of all, we believe in, Minister Goyal during negotiations often talked to me about 30, 30, 30. So that in 30 years, you'll be a 30 plus trillion economy and your population will still be 30 years of age. We completely bought into that. That's A. And then B, as I said, yes, framework conditions need to be here. We've also expressed our wish to yet again have a bilateral investment protection treaty. We think that's one of the things our companies look for. I think the treaty, this used to be something that we would say at all multilateral conferences, how the rule of law is important, and everybody was, rule of law. But I think now we see in these turbulent times how rule of law really is important, and this framework condition gives us this rule of law. And then I think Invest India will play a key role in facilitating all these things that you have mentioned, getting the permits, getting land, etc., etc., etc. There, I think it will need a three-layer response. Invest India at national level, the Ministry of Commerce has been a great ally, but then states are key, and then even municipalities are key. Everybody needs to do their homework. Swiss companies, we have been historically a FDI net exporter. I have to say, I admire how resilient and resourceful and innovative they can be in foreign markets. So I have a lot of confidence that with all the great support that we're getting from the Indian government, that they will maneuver through all the difficulties. And it's the same in Switzerland. You ask an Indian investor, it's also not just, waltzing in and then everything is clear from the get-go. I think it's something that all government need to work on red tape. Probably some areas we have over-regulated. So it's a topic even back home in Switzerland.
My final question, in fact, India and European Union, they have resolved to, in fact, conclude their, long-awaited free trade agreement by December. So do you think, in fact, once the FTA between India and European Union is finalized, it will also complement TEPA? That way, in fact, it will also help these 4 countries. So how do you see this resolved by both the sides to, conclude the deal by December?
Switzerland would absolutely salute if the EU and India can reach an agreement. As great as India is, EU is our single biggest market. Nearly 50% of our exports go into the EU. I think important economies such as Germany, they would really take advantage of a agreement with India. And basically, if it's like in real life, if our neighbors are doing well, we're doing well. And this is sort of what guides us. And I'm, hoping both for Minister Goyal and Commissioner Šefčovič that they manage to get this across the finishing line. I know how challenging it can be because, the devil lies in the details. And it's, of course, more complex. The EU 27 member states, us only 4, but I've been there. These last miles are usually very, very challenging. But both are great professionals, and it would be great news for Switzerland because we are very integrated also into the single market. When it comes to production, supply chains, etc. So that would be great news for us. But we're still happy that we were faster.
Are you essentially saying that it will complement the TEPA actually?
Absolutely. If you look at our MEM industry, practically nothing gets produced, manufactured 100% in Switzerland. There's a lot of collaboration, for example, in high precision tools among the German-speaking countries. So you will see machinery will go back and forth over the border. So this will facilitate. And it will be good for Germany, who is the engine of economy within Europe. So that's great news. Also, the fact that that UK now finally managed to conclude. I think it's good news. I remember when I first came personally. I'm in this job 3 years. I was told, well, take a number and wait in line. First, we're going to conclude with UK, and we're very busy with EU. So maybe for EFTA and for Switzerland, the matter of pride is that we managed to get it done first. There is a little competition there, but overall, I think it's a good way to describe it, and it's true for your personal life, and it's true in trade and investment. If your neighbors are doing well, we will do well.
State Secretary, thank you so very much for talking to PTI. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.